Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I want to talk to you about something real. Something that separates the winners from the ones who never quite make it. Something that determines whether you rise or stay stuck in the same place year after year. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not even intelligence, it's mindset. Because let me tell you, there's a language that losers speak. A pattern of words, phrases, and excuses that keep them from ever reaching their true potential. And if you're not careful, you might find yourself saying these things without even realizing the damage they're doing. Words have power, and the words you choose to live by will shape your future. I'm going to break down 7 things losers say, statements that hold them back, that trap them in mediocrity, that rob them of their dreams before they even get started. And if you recognize any of these in your own life, then tonight is your wake-up call. It's time to change the conversation. It's time to speak the language of winners. Let's get into it. I'll do it tomorrow. Procrastination is the silent killer of dreams. Losers love to say, I'll do it tomorrow. But tomorrow is a lie. Tomorrow is an illusion. You don't own tomorrow. All you have is right now. And if you keep pushing things off, you'll wake up 10 years later wondering where all your time went. People who succeed, people who change the world, they don't wait for the perfect moment. They act. They take that first step, even when they don't feel ready. They understand that hesitation is the enemy of progress. You've heard it before. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Losers live in a world of later. I'll start the business later. I'll hit the gym later. I'll chase my dreams later. Winners understand that later is a dangerous word because later turns into never. If you keep saying tomorrow, one day you'll run out of them. Think about it. How many times have you put something off only to regret it later? How many opportunities have slipped through your fingers because you were too afraid, too lazy, or too distracted? Time is the one thing you never get back. Waste it, and you waste your life. If you want to break free, start now, right now. Stop waiting for the stars to align, for the perfect conditions, for motivation to strike. Take action. Do it scared. Do it unprepared. Just do it. Because the people who win, they aren't the ones who wait for the right time. They're the ones who make time right. It's not my fault. This is the battle cry of the week. It's not my fault. It's the economy. It's my parents. It's the government. Losers always find someone else to blame for where they are in life. But let me tell you something. The moment you give up responsibility, you give up power. Winners take ownership. Even when things aren't their fault, they take control. Because blaming others won't change your situation. Excuses won't pay the bills. Complaints won't build the life you want. Only action will. We all go through struggles. Some people start with more advantages. Some people have it tougher. That's life. But you know what? There are people who came from nothing and still made something of themselves. There are people who had every reason to quit, but they kept going. Why? Because they refused to be victims. Your circumstances might not be your fault, but your response to them is your responsibility. You can either stay stuck in a cycle of blaming, complaining, and resenting, or you can take control and change your future. The choice is yours. At the end of the day, nobody cares about your excuses. The world rewards results, not reasons. The question is, are you going to let your past define you, or are you going to write your own story? I don't have time. One of the biggest lies losers tell themselves is, I don't have time. It's the ultimate excuse, the perfect justification for why they aren't chasing their goals, why they aren't getting better, why they're still stuck in the same place year after year. But let me tell you something. You don't lack time. You lack priorities. Everybody gets 24 hours in a day. The most successful people in the world, the CEOs, the athletes, the innovators, the leaders, they don't get extra hours. They don't get some secret advantage. They have the same time you do. The difference? They make time for what matters. They cut out the distractions, the nonsense, the things that don't push them forward. When someone says, I don't have time, what they're really saying is, it's not important enough to me. Think about it. You always find time for what matters. If you had an emergency, you'd drop everything. If you got sick, you'd make time to go to the doctor. If you wanted it bad enough, you'd make time to work on it. The truth is, most people waste time. They spend hours scrolling through their phones, watching TV, playing video games, hanging out with people who don't add value to their lives. Then they turn around and say, I don't have time. No, you do. You just choose to waste it. If you want something, if you really want something, you'll make time for it. You'll wake up earlier. You'll stay up later. You'll cut out distractions. You'll stop making excuses. Because winners don't wait for free time to magically appear. They make time. So next time you catch yourself saying, I don't have time, stop. Ask yourself, is this really true? Or am I just not making it a priority? If you're serious about your future, you'll stop making excuses and start making moves. I'm just unlucky. Losers love to talk about luck. I'm just not lucky. Some people have all the luck. I was born unlucky. But here's the truth. Luck has nothing to do with it. Success isn't about luck, it's about preparation, it's about persistence, it's about making the most of every opportunity that comes your way. People who blame luck for their failures are really just looking for an easy way out. They don't want to admit that they didn't work hard enough, that they didn't push themselves, that they weren't willing to sacrifice. So instead, they blame luck. Because it's easier to believe the universe is against you than to admit you didn't do the work. Winners don't rely on luck. They create their own luck. They show up every day, putting in the work, getting better, making connections, taking risks. And eventually, when the right opportunity comes, they're ready for it. That's not luck. That's preparation meeting opportunity. Think about any successful person you admire. Do you really think they got there by luck alone? Or did they grind when no one was watching? Did they stay late when everyone else went home? Did they push through failure after failure until they finally broke through? Losers wait for luck. They sit back, hoping something magical happens. But winners take action. They put themselves in the right places, meet the right people, learn the right skills, and position themselves for success. And when the time comes, they seize the moment. So stop blaming luck. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Go out and make your own luck. I can't do it. These 4 words are some of the most dangerous words you can ever speak. I can't do it. The moment you say this, you've already lost. You've already given up before you've even tried. You've already told yourself that failure is your only option. But let me tell you something. You can do it. You can achieve more than you think. You can push past your limits. You can break through barriers. But only if you stop telling yourself that you can't. The only difference between someone who succeeds and someone who fails is their mindset. The winner looks at a challenge and says, how can I do this? The loser looks at the same challenge and says, I can't. The winner finds a way. The loser finds an excuse. Every person who has ever achieved greatness had moments of doubt. Every champion, every entrepreneur, every artist, every leader, they all faced obstacles. But they didn't let those obstacles stop them. They kept going, even when they didn't feel ready, even when they weren't sure they could do it. The truth is, you don't know what you're capable of until you try. And if you fail, good. Failure isn't the end. Failure is a lesson. Failure is a stepping stone. The only real failure is giving up. So the next time you catch yourself saying, I can't do it, stop. Change the conversation. Say, I will find a way. Say, I will figure this out. Because the moment you shift your mindset, you shift your future. I'm too old / too young. Losers always have an excuse for why they can't start. Some say, I'm too old. Others say, I'm too young. But both of these are just lies people tell themselves to avoid taking action. The truth is, there is no perfect age to start. There is only now. You're not too old. There are people who started their dream careers in their 50s, 60s, even 70s. Colonel Sanders didn't start KFC until he was 65. Morgan Freeman didn't get his big break in acting until he was nearly 50. And you're telling me it's too late for you? No, it's too late when you're dead. Until then, you still have time. You're not too young. Some of the biggest companies in the world were started by people in their 20s or even younger. Mark Zuckerberg started Facebook in college. Mozart composed music as a child. Your age isn't a limitation. Your mindset is. The problem isn't age. The problem is hesitation. People waste years making excuses about why they can't start. And by the time they realize they could have started all along, they've lost even more time. Stop waiting. Stop doubting. Start moving. It doesn't matter if you're 18 or 80. If you want it, go after it. If you have a dream, chase it. If you have a goal, work for it. Because the only people who are too old or too young are the ones who decide to be. I've already tried everything. When losers fail, they love to say, I've already tried everything. It's their way of justifying why they gave up. But let's be real. You haven't tried everything. You've tried a few things, and you gave up when they didn't work. Winners don't stop at failure. They try a new approach. They adapt. They keep going. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before he invented the light bulb. Imagine if he had stopped at attempt number 20 and said, "I've already tried everything." The problem isn't that you've tried everything. The problem is you're looking for an easy way out. You want instant success. And when it doesn't happen, you convince yourself that it's impossible. But real success takes time. It takes persistence. It takes patience. If what you're doing isn't working, try something else. Learn new skills, find a mentor, switch up your strategy. But never stop moving forward, because the only true failure is quitting. You haven't tried everything until you've won. Ladies and gentlemen, life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't wait for the perfect time. It doesn't stop and give you second chances just because you made excuses the first time around. Life moves, whether you move with it or not. The words you speak, the thoughts you entertain, and the mindset you adopt will determine the life you live. If you keep repeating the language of losers, "I'll do it tomorrow. It's not my fault. I don't have time. I'm just unlucky. I can't do it. I'm too old. I've already tried everything," then that's exactly what your life will reflect. But if you start speaking the language of winners, if you take responsibility, if you stop making excuses, if you put in the work, if you refuse to quit, then success, fulfillment, and achievement become not just possibilities, but inevitable. So tonight I want you to make a choice, a real choice, a choice that will define the rest of your life. Will you continue making excuses, waiting for the right moment, blaming bad luck, and staying trapped in a cycle of mediocrity? Or will you rise? Will you take ownership? Will you push past your fears, take action, and step into the life you were meant to live? The choice is yours. But understand this, winners and losers aren't born, they are made. And they are made by the decisions they choose to make every single day. So decide, right here, right now, what kind of person are you going to be?